Have you ever like wished you could just like speak things into existence? I mean,
Yeah.
get the tech to do just that might be closer than we think.
Really?
Yeah. So today we're going to take a deep dive into an article called Living in a World Where Words Shape Reality.
Oh, wow.
And the author, who goes by Zen, seems to be really like living and breathing this stuff. And you know me.
Yeah.
I'm all about exploring the future, so let's unpack this.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
What I think is so fascinating about this article is that it's not just some far-off fantasy.
Right.
Zen actually connects emerging technologies to paint a picture of how this reality-shaping power could actually work.
Okay, so let's start with like the basics. Zen calls it speech-based creation. So imagine describing your dream house like down to the last detail,
Okay.
and it just appears.
Poof.
Yeah, just like that.
Wow. It's more than just voice commands, though, right? It's
Yeah.
like manifesting physical and virtual realities through the nuances of language.
Yep.
Yeah, and in the article, Zen even tweets about wanting a mountain range in their backyard and like adding extra moons to the sky.
Wow.
Even switching night to day, like it's a really powerful illustration of how this tech could reshape, well, everything.
Okay, that's pretty wild. But what about the practical side of things? Like, how would we actually use this in everyday life?
Well, Zen brings up this really interesting concept of agentic digital twins.
Okay.
And these are AI-powered avatars that act as extensions of ourselves. So imagine like a digital you attending meetings, negotiating deals,
Wow.
even building relationships, all while you're free to focus on other things.
So like having a personal assistant,
Yeah,
but like a million times more powerful.
exactly. And when you combine that with swarm intelligence,
Okay.
where multiple digital twins can collaborate like a hive mind,
Oh, wow.
the potential for productivity and creativity is mind-boggling.
So if you had a digital twin, what would you have it do? What would it be like?
That's a great question.
Let me know what you're thinking in the comments.
These are questions we all need to start asking because this technology could fundamentally change how we work, how we interact with each other, even how we define ourselves.
And that brings us to XR, or extended reality.
Yes.
Zen talks about using XR to overlay new experiences onto our physical surroundings.
Right.
So imagine walking down the street
Yeah.
and with a voice command transforming it into a floating cityscape.
It's wild.
Yeah.
XR could let us customize our reality in ways we can barely imagine right now, like changing visuals, sound, even physical laws just by speaking.
So it's not just about creating things out of thin air.
Right.
It's about taking what already exists and making it whatever we want it to be.
Yeah, and Zen takes that even further with this concept of infinite customization across the multiverse.
Oh, wow.
So imagine stepping into any location, era, or even universe with its own unique set of rules.
Oh.
A world where dinosaurs never went extinct.
What?
Life is a different species. All possible with speech-based customization.
It's mind-blowing to think about all the ways this could impact, well, everything. How we live, how we work, what we believe, even what we consider real.
And that's just scratching the surface. Zen goes on to discuss the potential social and economic implications, which are just as profound.
Okay, so now that we've got a taste of I think it's time to dig into the how.
Yeah, let's do it.
How would this technology actually work, and what are the potential roadblocks? Stay with us, because we're going to dive deeper into the nuts and bolts of making this mind-blowing vision a reality.
Sounds good. Zen doesn't really go too deep into like the technical specifics,
Right.
but they do touch on some key areas where current advancements are paving the way for this future.
Okay, so like what's the magic behind making these things real?
Well, a big part of it is AI,
Okay.
specifically natural language processing, which is getting really sophisticated.
Right.
Imagine AI that doesn't just understand your words, but the intent behind them. That's crucial for translating like nuanced speech into tangible creations. That makes sense. But how would you actually build a mountain range with words?
Okay, so that's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
Zen talks about advancements in nanotechnology and programmable matter.
Okay.
Imagine microscopic robots that can assemble themselves into any shape or structure, all guided by your spoken instructions.
So kind of like 3D printing, but on a whole other level.
Exactly. And then there's XR, which is already blending the digital and physical worlds.
Right.
Zen sees XR as the interface for interacting with this speech-created reality, allowing us to see, hear, and even touch these new creations.
It's amazing to think that all of these pieces are already in place.
Yeah.
But surely there must be some challenges.
Of
But
course, Zen highlights the need for massive computational power to like process and execute these complex commands.
Yeah.
We're talking about simulating entire realities on demand.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but also the infrastructure to support it.
Right. And then there were like the ethical considerations.
In a world where anyone can create anything anywhere, how do we prevent chaos?
All right.
What happens when someone's vision conflicts with another's?
Okay, so now we're getting into some really big questions.
Yeah.
How do we ensure that this power is used responsibly?
Well, Zen emphasizes the need for clear guidelines and boundaries, perhaps even a digital bill of rights to govern this new reality.
Okay.
We also need to think about the potential impact on social structures and economies.
It's like we're building a whole new world.
Yeah.
And we need to figure out the rules before we open the door.
Exactly, and those rules need to address things like intellectual property resource allocation, even the very nature of work and value in a world where scarcity becomes less relevant.
So Zen talks about a potential shift to a post-scarcity economy, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would that actually look like for everyday people?
It's a fascinating concept. Imagine a world where the focus shifts from material possessions to experiences and creative contribution.
Okay.
Your value wouldn't be tied to what you own, but what you create and how you contribute to the collective good.
That's a pretty radical shift.
Yeah.
I wonder how our current systems would adapt to something like that.
It would certainly require a rethinking of many fundamental aspects of society.
Yeah.
But Zen seems optimistic that this technology could empower us to address some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Oh, wow.
From poverty and hunger to climate change and disease.
So while there are definitely risks and hurdles to overcome, there's also this incredible potential for positive change.
Absolutely. Zen sees this as a tool for human evolution, allowing us to transcend our current limitations and create a more equitable and sustainable future.
It's almost like we're at a crossroads with the power to choose which path we want to take.
And that brings us back to the central question, what will we create with this power? What kind of reality do we want to shape?
Zen suggests we need to approach this new reality with both a sense of wonder and a healthy dose of caution.
Right.
It's about finding a balance between harnessing the incredible possibilities while being mindful of the potential consequences.
They also encourage us to think beyond our individual desires and consider the collective good.
Right.
What kind of world do we want to build together?
Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. Now I'm really curious about the why.
Yeah.
Why is Zen so passionate about this vision? What do they see as the ultimate goal? We'll dive into the deeper philosophical and existential questions raised by this technology.
I'm ready.
Zen seems to believe that this technology isn't just about, like, changing our physical world, right?
Right.
It's about changing our understanding of, like, reality itself.
Yeah. They go into some pretty deep philosophical questions, if we can literally speak our own realities into existence, what does that mean for concepts like truth, objectivity, even the nature of consciousness?
Like, if everyone can just create their own version of reality,
Right.
does that mean there's no one true reality anymore?
That's a really core question that Zen grapples with.
Okay.
And they suggest that we might be moving towards a more subjective understanding of reality, where individual perception and experience play a greater role in shaping our understanding of the world.
So it's not just about, like, bending the rules of physics.
Yeah.
It's about bending the rules of how we, like, perceive and interpret those rules.
Exactly. And that raises questions about identity and individuality.
Right.
If we can exist in multiple realities simultaneously,
Sure.
through our digital twins or XR experiences, what happens to our sense of self?
It's almost like we're expanding the definition of what it means to be human.
Zen even touches on the potential for this technology to, like, alter our understanding of life and death.
Really?
Imagine being able to preserve your consciousness in a digital form,
Wow.
essentially achieving a kind of immortality.
Whoa, that's getting pretty existential.
It is.
It's like we're not just shaping reality, we're shaping the very fabric of our existence.
And that's what makes Zen's vision so compelling. It's not just about the technology itself,
Right.
but about the profound philosophical and spiritual implications. They see this as an opportunity for humanity to evolve, not just technologically, but consciously.
So it's not just about creating a better world, it's about, like, becoming better beings.
Precisely. And that's where the real responsibility lies.
Okay.
If we have the power to shape reality with our words,
Yeah.
we need to be mindful of the thoughts, beliefs, and intentions that we're putting out into the world.
Because those thoughts and beliefs will ultimately become the building blocks of this new reality.
Exactly. Zen leaves us with a really powerful call to action.
Okay.
To use this technology not just for personal gain, but for the collective good, to create a world that reflects our highest aspirations for ourselves and for humanity as a whole.
It's both inspiring and a little bit daunting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
You're standing on the edge of something truly transformative.
But that's also what makes it so exciting.
Right.
We have the opportunity to co-create a future that's unlike anything we've ever known. And it all starts with our imagination, our willingness to explore new possibilities and our commitment to using this power wisely.
Zen reminds us that the reality we create is a reflection of ourselves.
It is.
So as we step into this new world, let's make it a reality that's worthy of who we truly are and who we aspire to be.
And let's remember that the conversation doesn't end here, This is just the beginning of a much larger exploration.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into a world where words shape reality.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We hope it sparked your curiosity and inspired you to think differently about the future we're creating together. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep imagining.